Have you ever been told to just believe in yourself, right before doing something that actually terrified you? Maybe before a job interview. Maybe before a hard conversation. Maybe before starting something completely new. And you tried. You stood in front of the mirror, you repeated the words, you told yourself you could do it. And somehow, it didn't change a single thing. The fear was still there. The doubt was still there. And afterward, you may have even felt worse, because now on top of everything else, you also felt like you failed at believing in yourself too. Here is the truth nobody tells you: just believe in yourself is one of the most repeated pieces of advice in the world, and one of the least effective. Not because belief doesn't matter. It does. But because the way this advice is usually given completely ignores how belief actually works. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 real reasons why simply telling yourself to believe never actually creates the change people expect. And by the end, you'll understand what actually builds real, lasting confidence instead. Reason number 1. Belief cannot override evidence. Your mind does not form confidence from words. It forms confidence from proof. If you have failed at something 5 times, saying "I believe in myself" does not erase those 5 memories. Your brain still remembers them, and it will quietly overrule any phrase that contradicts what it has already experienced. This is why repeating a positive phrase before a hard task often feels hollow, almost like lying to yourself. Because in a very real sense, you are. Belief that isn't backed by real evidence isn't confidence. It's a wish. And your nervous system knows the difference, even if your conscious mind doesn't want to admit it. Reason number 2. Telling yourself to believe skips the actual skill-building step. Just believe in yourself sounds like a mindset fix, but most of the time, the real issue isn't mindset. It's skill. If you don't know how to do something well yet, no amount of self-belief will make you suddenly capable. Confidence is often the result of competence, not the cause of it. Someone who has practiced public speaking 50 times isn't confident because they decided to believe in themselves. They're confident because they've done it enough times that their brain now expects a reasonable outcome. Belief that isn't built on actual repetition and practice is just a hopeful guess, and deep down, your mind treats it that way. Reason number 3. It ignores the specific fear underneath. Believe in yourself is incredibly vague. But your fear is never vague. It's usually something very specific. Fear of being judged, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of being rejected, fear of not being good enough compared to someone else. When you respond to a specific fear with a generic phrase, your mind doesn't feel addressed. It feels dismissed. It's like a friend telling you just don't feel sad when you're upset about something painful and specific. The advice technically acknowledges the emotion, but it does nothing to actually process it. Real progress comes from naming the specific fear and addressing that exact thing, not layering a generic phrase over the top of it. Reason number 4. Confidence built on hype fades the moment pressure returns. Have you ever pumped yourself up right before something big, felt genuinely strong for a moment, and then completely crumbled the second real pressure hit? That's because hype-based confidence is temporary. It's an emotional spike, not a stable foundation. Real confidence isn't a feeling you generate right before the moment. It's a baseline that stays steady whether you feel pumped up or not. If your belief only shows up when you've hyped yourself into a certain emotional state, it will disappear exactly when you need it most, which is usually during unexpected pressure, not the pressure you prepared for. Reason number 5. It creates pressure to feel a certain way, which backfires. When someone says, "Just believe in yourself," there's an unspoken expectation buried inside it: you should feel confident right now. But telling yourself you should feel a certain way, when you don't, usually creates the opposite effect. It adds a second layer of stress on top of the original fear. Now you're not just afraid of the task. You're also afraid that you're failing at feeling confident correctly. This is a common trap in self-improvement advice in general. Trying to force a feeling almost always increases resistance to that feeling. Confidence isn't something you can command into existence through pressure. It has to be allowed to build gradually, without the added weight of "I should already feel this." Reason number 6. It doesn't account for identity, only motivation. Most people treat self-belief as a motivational boost, something you generate right before a task. But real, lasting confidence is tied to identity, not motivation. There's a difference between telling yourself I can do this one time and actually seeing yourself as the type of person who does hard things consistently. Motivation is temporary and task-specific. Identity is stable and general. If your only strategy is hyping yourself up moment to moment, you're rebuilding your confidence from scratch every single time. But if you focus on becoming the kind of person who follows through, shows up, and takes small consistent actions, the belief becomes a natural side effect of who you're actually becoming, not something you have to manufacture each time. Reason number 7. It skips the small proof of action step that actually builds trust in yourself. This is the biggest reason the phrase fails. Real self-trust isn't built through words. It's built through small, repeated proof. Every time you say you'll do something and then actually do it, even something small, you build a tiny piece of evidence that you can rely on yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, that trust erodes a little, no matter how many times you tell yourself to believe. Just believe in yourself completely skips this proof-building process. It tries to install confidence directly, without the small actions that actually create it. But your mind isn't convinced by declarations. It's convinced by patterns. And patterns take consistent follow-through, not one motivating sentence. So what actually works, instead of just telling yourself to believe? It starts with replacing vague belief with specific, small, provable actions. Instead of saying, I believe I can do this, try identifying one small step you can actually take today, and then take it. Instead of trying to erase fear with a phrase, name the fear specifically, and address that exact concern with real information or preparation. Instead of hyping yourself up right before a big moment, build a steady baseline of small wins over time, so your confidence doesn't depend on a temporary emotional spike. And most importantly, stop trying to force the feeling of confidence before you have any evidence for it. Let confidence be something that catches up to you after enough small proof has accumulated, rather than something you try to manufacture out of nothing right before a hard moment. Belief isn't something you talk yourself into. It's something you slowly earn, one small honest action at a time. And once you understand that, you stop waiting to feel ready, and you start actually becoming someone who is. If this video gave you a different way to think about confidence, let me know in the comments which reason stood out to you the most. And if you want more videos that break down the psychology behind mindset advice that sounds right but doesn't actually work, subscribe, because we cover this every single week.